Since we've been talking about DVDs on this channel, I figured I would show you how I pack and ship DVDs using cardboard DVD mailers I make myself that are cheaper and better than bubble mailers. And I'll show you how I can get 12 of these out of a single medium-sized moving box. What's up, everybody? I'm Dave. This is Quarter Flips, my channel. Welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time. Today I want to talk about shipping DVDs. I've been talking a lot about DVDs lately. I have sold a lot of DVDs over the past few years, and it's been a focus of this channel. They've slowed up a little bit, but not a ton. They're still my number one or number two sales item each month. Music has been doing a little bit better some months, so it's a little bit of a back and forth. But honestly, a lot of the shipping with that stuff is very similar to this, so I figured I would just cover some packing and shipping tips that I have. If you've watched this channel for a while, there's a lot of new subscribers, but if you go back with me for a while, you know that I'm not a fan of bubble mailers, and I will explain why in a minute when we get into all that. Before we get started, I thought I would show a little bit of the DVD sales that I've had in the last month or so. This isn't everything, but it's some, and I'll just throw up some recent sales up here off of eBay. Now, this first batch, these are DVDs that sold between the $5 and $10 range. And if you watched my last video, there's a chart up there that will show how much I make off of these, if you wanted to go back and compare. Shipping on top for everything. I don't do free shipping anymore, as we discussed. And then there were a few cool sales that were a little bit higher. Anything over $10 I'm usually pretty happy with, and I thought I would highlight a couple of them. The first wasn't a DVD, it was a Blu-ray. It was a double Blu-ray set from Ernest, Jim Varney. I know we all miss him, but I didn't think his movies went for very much, but I found a used Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Goes to Jail Blu-ray set, put it up for $14.99, and it sold very quickly. Next up, I've got a few DVDs that went for $12.99. The first one is Tchaikovsky's Eugene Onegin. I think I'm pronouncing that right, but with any of these names like this, I don't know, and I apologize if I get it wrong. This is an opera DVD. I always take a look at opera DVDs when I see them because they get passed by, and when people are into that stuff, they'll pay up for them a little bit. So $12.99 for that one. Next up is Sophie Scholl. This is a German language DVD, something about World War II. It's Sophie Scholl, The Final Days. This one went for $12.99. And then Jack Dennis's Learning to Fly Fish. Had good luck with fly fishing DVDs, so if you spot those on the shelf, check them. A lot of times they don't have barcodes, so you got to type them in. But yeah, fishing DVDs have done fairly well for me. Next up, we have a copy of Smoke Signals. I usually sell this DVD for around $20. This one, there was a lot of wear on the disc, a lot of light scuffs and scratches. I tested it. It played just fine, and it was an excuse to watch the movie. It's a fantastic movie. And it sold for $14.99 very quickly after I put it up. Okay, this one's going to be hard to pronounce. Red Volkert. Is it Volkert? Much like the fishing DVDs, sometimes guitar instructional DVDs can do well too. This one says it comes with a book. It's actually just a printed booklet that's the size of like the inserts that come with a lot of DVDs. It's a little thicker, but it goes inside. Makes it a little bit heavier package. Used in good condition, that went for $19.99 plus shipping. Romeo and Juliet, the 1968 version. This was a sealed copy, new DVD. I found it a couple of years ago. I'm pretty sure it was featured in a video that I made for this channel. I think I got it at a St. Vincent de Paul's thrift store in Kent. That went for $19.99 plus shipping after it sat for a long time. Then we have Ralph Bakshi's animated Heavy Traffic. This one went for $21.99, and it also had a little bit of wear, and I had tested it to make sure that it played well. $21.99 for that one plus shipping. That's one of those weird, interesting ones. You see Ralph Bakshi stuff, you should be pricing it. See what you got. Next, we have another instructional DVD. This is Alexis Vogel. This is a hair and makeup tutorial DVD. I think for photo shoots. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it went for $24.99 plus shipping. And then finally, of the better sales I've had in the last little while, sold another copy of Alone in the Wilderness, the Dick Proenneke story about building the cabin up in Alaska. I have sold this thing 6 or 7 times now. There's different versions of this DVD. I believe this one might be the first edition, but it doesn't matter. If you find this DVD, it's worth money. I've always gotten between 20 and $30 for it. So this went for $29.99 plus shipping. If you find this one, watch it. then sell it. Okay, so I'm selling all these DVDs. I'm gonna put them in the mail and ship them out to people. I wanna do that as fast and easy as possible, but I also want those DVDs, especially the ones that go for over 20 bucks, to get there safely. I want them to arrive to the buyer in the same condition they left me. I don't like bubble mailers. I don't think bubble mailers give enough. Like, if nothing goes wrong and you send something with the bubble mailer, it'll get there fine and those little bubbles will protect it. But there's no protection. Everything can crush in from any side. I don't feel comfortable with them. And as I've gone on and on about in the past, I have received so many things that I have ordered that came with bubble mailers that came damaged, whether they were CDs and the jewel cases were just completely shattered, or records that were broken in half, or DVDs where the cases have gotten twisted. I don't like them. What I do is I make cardboard mailers, and I will show you how I cut these mailers out. I've got one here left, so this is actually the last one I have, so I'm gonna go make some more. The way I do this is I get a medium-sized box, 1-ply cardboard, and that's kind of important. It's kind of an important distinction. Cardboard technically is cardstock, like a cereal box, like there's no plies to it. And then next up, you've got single-ply cardboard. I don't know if you can actually see that. And then you've also got like 2-ply cardboard, double-ply cardboard. This would be from like a regular moving box from Home Depot. This would be from one of the heavy-duty boxes from Home Depot. They have different uses when it comes to things like CDs that have more fragile cases, jewel cases. I end up using the double-ply. But for DVDs, single-ply will do, because we are, for the most part, taking advantage of the strength that is already there in the DVD case, adding to that the cardboard strength. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I cut out these DVD mailers, how many I get from a box, and then I'm going to show you how I pack them up and get them ready to ship. Okay, so there's a few items we're going to need to get these mailers put together. We're going to need one of these box knives. This should be something, if you're packing and shipping already, this is something you need. It's indispensable. There's a lot of different versions of them. I like these ones we can swap out the blades really easily. I use this thing every single day. I also have a roll of shrink wrap. I usually wrap up anything that I send to anybody. I seal CDs and DVDs with it. That way I can tape items inside the cardboard and it's not gonna touch the actual item. A little bit of this goes a long way. I pick up maybe 2 of these a year. And of course, it's always good to have a straight edge around. Here's your common type of yardstick. You can use one of these for what I'm gonna do. It will work, but the problem I have with cutting, I'm gonna be using the straight edge today to cut with the box knife. And the problem I have with these wooden ones is after a while, or maybe even the first time through, I don't know if you can see it here where it has happened, you can cut into the wood. It can catch the wood and kind of just splinter the wood, and then it's not really straight anymore. I've done this a number of times. I end up using this just for measuring boxes for the most part when I'm shipping, when I'm putting in the measurements for pirate ship. So this is not the straight edge that I'm going to use today. This is the straight edge I'm going to use today. This is an Empire world-class, Empire level manufacturing corporation world-class tool. It is a 48-inch metal, straight edge guide. This is great. This is heavy. If you're not careful when you're walking around with this thing, you can ding the wall, break your TV, crack a window. I mean, you gotta watch out for pets and small children when you're carrying these. And worst case scenario, it can be used for home defense. They have such, weight and heft to them. If you don't have one of these, I recommend it. It's definitely overkill. But seriously, for cutting large boxes, this works very, very well. And we're going to go do that. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is cut this medium-sized Home Depot moving box. We're gonna cut it in half here. So I'm going to measure it. It's just under 32 inches. So half of 32 is 16. Doesn't really matter that much. It's not perfect. I'm just gonna put a mark there with the knife. Do it again here. And then, don't cut all the way through the cardboard. Just run a line down the box. Save your nice carpet. So now that this is done, you just cut through. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. So you can do that without messing up your floor. Now these have a place where they're glued. So you're just gonna open it up, pull that apart at the glue spot. And open up the cardboard. Do that for both sides. Now you've got this unwieldy thing. So just go ahead and cut right at these edges, or right at these folding corner spots. And do it for all of them. So ultimately, this is the size mailer that we're gonna wanna get. This is the piece that we're gonna use. I had one left over from the last time I did this, so I'm gonna use this as a guide. But I'll cut one without having this as a guide first so you can see how you would do it. The size of this is just the size of those pieces in terms of the long part. And you can see there's the natural fold from the box, and that's good. We want that for when we actually put the DVDs in there. If you're like me, you may want to cut the edge straight. And then measure it out. That's 9 inches. Once you've got those marks, all right, so this is the size you want now. You don't really need to use this thing every time. Now that you have one of these, you can just use the edges of cardboard. And remember, this isn't a perfect size, so it doesn't actually matter if it's perfect or not. On the smaller pieces, you're only gonna get one. And also with these Home Depot boxes, 2 of them are gonna have these handle pieces. Those don't matter. Throw a little bit of tape over there. It's not gonna cause any kind of a problem in the shipping. So there we have 12 mailers from one medium-sized moving box. Now let's look at how we pack these up to send DVDs. All right, so let's say we have to send a DVD. Here's how I do it using one of these mailers. First thing I do is get the DVD ready to go into the mailer, whether it's a new DVD or a used DVD. I surround it with shrink wrap. Then I take my cardboard for the mailer. You'll notice that it doesn't fold exactly over perfectly because of the size of the box, the flaps versus the middle of the box. And that's completely fine because you don't want to just close it over the DVD like that anyway. It's not going to close because of the size of the DVD case. I'll take the end of my box knife and I just bend the box like that. And it's single ply cardboard, so it's easy to do. Then you put the DVD in like that. I think you can see what we're gonna do here. We're gonna make a clamshell mailer. The first thing I do is I just take a couple pieces of tape and I hold the DVD in place so that it's not gonna shift in mailing. Is this an important step? Is it overkill? No and yes, and I do it anyway. All right, you kind of bend the edges just a little bit. Throw a piece of tape on there lengthwise. On the top edge. and on the bottom edge. And then what I tend to do is throw another piece of tape around. Because that tape that you folded over can definitely come off. It can pull off from another package rubbing against it, but once you've done this, that's not gonna happen. And there you have it. That's how I send a DVD out in the mail. Safer than bubble wrap. Safer than a bubble mailer for sure. Nothing is gonna happen to that DVD. And I'll sit and I'll do a bunch of these if I have a bunch of DVDs going out. So each time I finish one, I'll write the name of the DVD on there so I can just stack them up and then run them all through pirate ship and then get them off to the post office. And I know there's not gonna be any mistakes. So that's it. All right, I know from experience that there are some of you out there that are saying, why go to all that trouble? That's too much trouble. I don't want to do it that way. I respect your opinion. And especially if you've already bought a pile of bubble mailers and you don't want to give them up. I get it. You're set in your ways. Bubble mailers have always worked for you. You're probably like, I send stuff in bubble mailers all the time and I never have any problem. You do. The people that are getting your stuff on the other end are sometimes getting damaged items. But like me, they understand if the thing comes in a bubble mailer, it's probably going to get damaged and most likely the disc inside will be okay. And a lot of people don't care about condition. Me, the stuff that I send, I want it to get there without those breaks whenever possible. And it's also important to me that the packages look a certain way when I take them to the post office. I'm going to be honest, some of this is in my own head. Like I feel a great deal of satisfaction when I'm carrying a bunch of well-packaged packages to the post office and I know that stuff is going to go through to the customer and they're going to get it and they're going to be impressed. How do I know they're impressed? Look at my feedback on eBay sometime. Tons of people talking about how well packaged the stuff I sent was. This is something, I don't like to say I pride myself on it. I just am satisfied when I do it that way. It makes me feel happy about what I'm doing and I think the customer appreciates it. So this is why I do it this way. In terms of cost, I think it's better. I think what I'm doing is better. Now, when you get up into bulk amounts that may not be true, I went today to try to price bubble mailers at the dollar store. Because if I wanted a bubble mailer right now, if I had something that I needed to ship and I didn't have a bubble mailer, I would have to run to some kind of a stationery store or I'd go to the dollar store near my house. Everything's $1.25 now, but it's the dollar store. So I go there and when they have them, they sell bubble mailers in 2-packs, 2 for $1.25. That's 60 something cents each. That's not that great. When I use one of these cardboard boxes, these cost $1.98 brand new. I cut one of these up into 12 mailers. That means my mailers are 16.5 cents a piece. All right, if I went online and priced out, I did this earlier, I priced out some bubble mailers. Say I bought 500 6x9 bubble mailers, which I think is the smallest bubble mailer that you can actually mail a DVD in. I think I was able to get the price down after shipping and everything to around 13 cents a mailer. So technically 3.5 cents cheaper. But you can get free boxes and free cardboard all over the place all the time. For 2 years, I was making DVD mailers off of boxes that were given to me after my buddies move. And sometimes when I don't have any, yeah, I go buy a box. But I've done so many free that I think that kind of helps mitigate the price. Bubble mailers, I don't know any place to get free bubble mailers. I don't have a bubble mailer hookup. I'm paying for them every time. So yes, if we're going just off of cost, if you're willing to do the money outlay to buy in bulk, you can probably get bubble mailers cheaper than the cardboard ones that I'm making if you have to buy all your cardboard new. But I think you can just look on Craigslist or Facebook something or OfferUp or whatever you have where people give stuff away for free, and you can find people that have moved and you can go pick up cardboard boxes for free all over the place. Or maybe your friend or someone you know works at a place that has a lot of cardboard that they get rid of, and you can just say, hey, hold some of those boxes for me. This adds up over time. This is money. This is dinners that we can pay for that we wouldn't, we'd still maybe be able to pay for them, but this actually can cover the cost of those. The less we spend on these little things, the more that money adds up and becomes profit. extra profit on top of profit. And if you think I'm wrong, let me know about it in the comments. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing. Maybe there's a place to get bubble mailers much cheaper, or you just have really strong opinions about it. And a lot of times in the past, I've said, I know what you're gonna say, I don't wanna hear about it, but you know what? I do wanna hear about it. Tell me all about it. Let me know what you think. As long as you're, nice, I will respond. Probably. All right, I think I've exhausted this topic. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.